a scene transition, and the music. Welcome back to the History of Gaming Metal Gear. On this episode, we talk about the game Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, a PSP title that continues the story of Big Boss. And then shortly after that, we get into the gameplay of the PlayStation 3 version of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. So as always, we always start off these discussions talking about the producer of the Metal Gear series, Hideo Kojima. Shortly after the development of Metal Gear Solid 4 began, Kojima stated it would be the last Metal Gear that he would be directly involved in. You guys starting to see a pattern. I feel like this guy wanted to get out of this series closer to Metal Gear Solid 1 than now. He keeps stating this, that he wants out. He keeps working his way out of the series just to be drugged back in. Shortly after this statement's made, though, at a 2009 Gamescom, Kojima mentions that he is more involved with Peace Walker than he intended because, quote, there was a lot of confusion within the team and it didn't proceed as I wanted it to. Therefore, I thought I needed to jump in and do Peace Walker. So we do end up with Kojima not being able to quit Metal Gear and Metal Gear not being able to quit him, at least thus far. Around the same time, 2010, we begin hearing more and more about another title called Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, which his team was to be working on with him only as a producer and not involved as a creative direction on that title. We also hear about Metal Gear Solid getting remade for the Nintendo 3DS. Which ended up coming out and was very good. You will not see it in this History of Gaming series as we've already played Metal Gear Solid 3 on the original version, but re-released for the Legacy Collection. It's shortly after this in 2011 where things start to get interesting for his career, but that is closer to the next games in the series, which is Rising, so we'll be discussing that at that point. Let us get into what the development looked like for Peace Walker. We have another time jump back happens here with the story of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. We go back to 1974, which of course means we're playing Big Boss again. The game takes place in Costa Rica this time and was developed for the PlayStation Portable. Much like Portable Ops, Peace Walker is a title with the intent of making Metal Gear mobile and enjoyable with friends. It had a lot of development focused on co-op and did a good job with it as well. We'll also see the return of the camo system from Metal Gear Solid 3 in a more light fashion with this game. Additionally, we see crew management system like from Portable Ops with a feature called Mother Base, and we'll see more of this later in the series as well. We also see the talented Ashley Wood return to illustrate the game's cutscenes, similar to the work that he did on Portable Ops and the graphic novel videos that we've watched before. Peace Walker was released June 8th of 2010 for the PlayStation Portable and earned a Metacritic score of 89%, which is substantial for a PlayStation Portable title, excuse me. Peace Walker was also re-released with the Metal Gear Solid HD collection on the PlayStation 3, where some control changes took place to make it a little bit more palatable on the system. And as always, we do compare the game that we are playing with other games of the year, but this time we're going to look at it a little bit differently. This is a PSP title, therefore we have to compare it with other games that were made for mobile consoles, not household consoles. So to take a look at that, that means we're looking at games like Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Valkyria Chronicles 2, Fat Princess Fistful of Cake, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, SOCOM US Navy SEALs Fireteam Bravo 3, Pokemon Black and White, and Golden Sun Dark Dawn. Of course, the big title here to look at is comparing it to games like Pokemon Black and White. In the mobile market, it's kind of hard to compete against Pokemon. As it's freaking Pokemon. So does this Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker game win over the portable handheld world? No, it doesn't. And mostly because it's on the PlayStation Portable. The PlayStation Portable was a fantastic piece of equipment, but it just didn't do what it needed to compete with the DS Lites and what would soon become the 3DSs of the time. So a very good game. Still an important piece of Metal Gear history. So we will play it nonetheless and actually have quite a bit of fun. For this is the story of what is referred to as the Peace Walker incident. Alright, without further ado, we'll get into the game.